Hey Titus, hope you're doing well. Let's jump right into it. So we have Funky Primer. We're going to go to page 13 and we're going to go down in number 8. Now we're going to play the ink. That means we're going to play just what's printed, and then we're going to play that one bass drum note that I added into it, penciled in. Here we go. Here's number 8 as written. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and then the bass drum note I wrote in is in beat 1. It's still within that family of beat 1, but it's 1 E and ah. It's the last little 16th note. So 1 E and ah, and then beat 2 on the snare drum. That's gonna sound like this slower. 3 and 4 and. Faster. 3, 4. And I believe we were learning that beat because it was identical or very similar to a song that you had brought into lessons and you were interested in. So that bass drum that we added, it does not connect with the right hand hi-hat or whatever hand you use to play a hi-hat. I believe you play with your right hand typically on the hi-hat. So the bass drum is not connected with that hi-hat. We have 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Oftentimes, newer drummers will play this instead. They'll play. You hear how my hi-hat, I call it chasing, like the hi-hat's chasing the bass drum, trying to mimic it. So what we can do is create a little exercise just to help us with that one skill of playing in time. We want the hi-hat and bass drum to be coordinated in time, but not connected, not lined up vertically, like on the sheet music where you have the hi-hat X, and then the bass drum underneath of it on the same note stem. They'll be offset. So here's a little exercise that help you with that. Just that, just back and forth, hi-hat to bass drum. What about 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 and? What about 1 E and 2 E and? Right, and here again is number 8, a little quicker. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's move on to some new content. We're going to stay with the right hand 8th note on the hi-hat, and we're going to add a snare drum note to beat 2. So typically the money beat, well, this is the money beat. Here we go. All right, so we just have a single snare drum shot right there on beat 2, and then also one on beat 4. Now we're going to add one to beat 2 and. It's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Faster. And that's a great way to get started with those 1950s kind of drum beats. You can hear the Beatles, Twist and Shout, Wipeout. You know, of course, you have that famous. Yeah, well, we'll get to that eventually with Wipeout. But a lot of that era uses that kind of a snare drum, that double smack on it. One of the sections of Roy Orbison, "Oh Pretty Woman," you can hear that same beat. By the way, that was also on the list. I want to review the Motown beat, Roy Orbison, "Pretty Woman," Uptight, Stevie Wonder, Rebel Rebel, David Bowie. So many songs use this kind of beat. Let's just start with kick, snare, and hi-hat together on quarter notes. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to add 8th notes on the hi-hat. 1, 2, ready, and. And then eventually we'll add some more bass drum notes, a little bit of what we call like syncopation, just some offbeat kind of notes. Here, let's give an example. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and. All right, so that's the little review of the Motown beat, and then the final bit of new content today, triplets on the hi-hat. We are going to keep the kick and snare the same as it is in the money beat. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But now we're going to play triplets on the hi-hat. There's various ways to count them. Triplet, triplet, triplet. The real young drummers, they like pineapple, pineapple, pineapple. Let's go ahead and use 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I like using 1, 2, 3, 4 because it helps us be more specific in identifying which beat we are, which beat's in question, what we're talking about here, instead of just a random triplet, triplet, right? Okay, so here we go. I would start with just your hi-hat, counting out loud like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And then maybe you just want to add bass drum on beat 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and etc. And then add snare drum on beat 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we're just building it one note at a time. And now, or one piece at a time. Anyway, that's an old song. Johnny Cash. One piece at a time didn't cost me a dime. Sorry, I want to go off a, you know, I go on my rabbit trails. Here we go. Let's play the whole beat, money beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, and you can hear that in just a ton of blues songs. B.B. King, Albert King, all Freddie King, all the Kings, a lot of blues players named King, come to think of it. Lights by Journey comes to mind. Oh Darling, the Beatles. It's a bit slower. That oh, and Ringo adds some. He adds some little bit of extra hi-hat in there, but the same basic framework is at play there. Okay, so just to recap, we learned something new today. Triplets on the hi-hat with a same money beat kick snare pattern. I would recommend counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and as fun as it is to start with pineapple, pineapple, pineapple. Try the 1 and 2 and. Then the 1950s beat you can hear in the one section. This would be the bridge, perhaps, of Pretty Woman, and then Wipeout, Twist and Shout, bunch of songs. Okay, and we started with number 8 out of Funky Primer, page 13. Number 8, as written. And now a little slower with the extra bass drum note we added on 1 E and A. 1, 2, 3 E and a 4. And finally, some exercises to help with placing that bass drum in between the steady 8th note time. Okay, let me know if you have any more questions. I will see you in 2 weeks. Take care.